Welcome, friends. Many times I get this query repeatedly that the alliances I speak to keep ghosting me. What is the reason? What's going wrong? While the reasons may be plenty, case by case, there might be a common reason that your Kundali shows. For this, the focus is more on the houses rather than the planets. Let us now dive into a chart and look at the common reasons. Before that, please like, share, and subscribe for quality astro content. See, one of the common reasons why people ghost another person in the context of an alliance is because they simply didn't vibe with the other person. Vibe means they didn't have this organic feeling that, okay, this person can be my partner. In those instances, you have absolutely no control on how you can make that person like you. This doesn't define who you are, it's simply a mismatch, and that's all it is. And in those cases, when you meet a person and they were not happy or they didn't vibe with you, you just need to drop off that alliance, right? That's the maximum you can do. But I will tell you why that happens from a chart perspective. It really depends on the moon's your moon position versus their moon position, what star the moon is in, which is called the Janma Nakshatra. So this Janma Nakshatra mismatch can cause disparity in how that person might vibe with you depending on various kutas. This is what is called as the kuta matching in a horoscope, where different kutas, there is something called Ashtakuta, then there's something called Dvadasha Kuta. There are different kutas in a horoscope where they look at the moon matching, their moon position, their nakshatra versus your nakshatra of where the moon is placed. How are the results of those two placements coming into fruition? This shows a lot about certain area of life and the vibe or the sort of matching of temperament in that area of life. But moon alone doesn't define, or nakshatra alone doesn't define the alliance later dropping off the prospect who is actually interested. It might be because of variety of other reason why you get ghosted, and for people who wouldn't understand what ghosting means, it simply means that they stop responding to you or they start giving you vague answers and the communication starts fading with them, eventually leading to no communication at all and giving each other the communication that this has ended. Let us look at other reasons why somebody might start ghosting you that may be in your control. Second reason why somebody might ghost you is simply because one major factor is the communication gaps that occurs between you and them. One frequent communication gap that may occur is the assumption that the other person is not interested. Have you ever thought that the other person I know is not showing enough initiative and interest? They need to initiate. And both of them are thinking this way, that the other person let them initiate. And because of this gap, the good alliances that might have otherwise worked out starts to break apart. So this is one thing that happens in the communication when it comes to talking to an alliance, or even people who are in an initial phase of the westernized dating or whatever, or the same thing in a marriage alliance context where they're in talks with each other, the boy and the girl, or the families. Let us fix a first house. Let us say you are Taurus ascendant. In any given chart, communication is represented by the second house and third house. Second house is primarily the spoken communication, and the third house speaks about written communication. The spoken communication here, if suppose there was Rahu in the second house, generally that person might be a harsh communicator. they might communicate in blunt ways that might not be appealing to the other person. But suppose if Rahu is conjoined with the seventh lord, in this case it is Mars, then this effect might be more in the marriage context than anything else. It could also be in other contexts too. But because this video is more focused on marriage and alliances, I'm talking in the marriage context. In the marriage context, first of all, conjunction of Mars and Rahu is not a great combination for many other things. But when it comes to communication in domestic life, it's not great. But also, when you're looking at alliances, you should become aware that if you have any such combination in your horoscope, where the seventh lord, let it be Mars or any other planet, is conjoined with a malefic in the second house, like Rahu or Saturn or some other planet who's a natural malefic, or if there's a good planet also but not in a very good position, like the planet is debilitated or the planet may not be of good strength or something, it would be pulling down the energy of the seventh lord in the area of spoken communication. So here you might unconsciously be saying things that are pushing away people. And by realizing this, you get an opportunity to fix it. Please note that in this video, I want to make it clear to a lot of people, a horoscope is not fatalistic. In other words, it is not destiny for most part of it. If something is changeable only, would the nature let you know? If something is not changeable, if it's something that is written in your destiny that it has to happen that way, a horoscope wouldn't even show that to you, in my opinion. If you can't change something, what's the point of knowing it, right? To what degree you can change might be of question. Some things can be changed very easily, some things might require more effort, and some things are very difficult to change, but at least a portion of it can be changed to see relief. Only when you have such opportunities would a horoscope even show you that something like that exists in your life. If there is nothing you can do about something, if it is something that was bound to happen to you, why would a horoscope even depict that in the first place? It would just happen to you. As per spiritual logic, I'm saying. So, a horoscope is not fatalistic. You can still change it. Some people may say you can only change it with some spiritual remedies or something else. That might partially be true, but not always should it be a spiritual remedy. Just awareness can change many things. If you feel that, okay, I have Rahu and Mars in my second house, I might be communicating things unconsciously that is not very healthy, which may be contributing to this issue. You can always introspect what you might be doing, inquire around, or you can do your online research on what are the things that you usually say, after which they ghost you. And according to opinions, maybe online, if you're not comfortable talking these things to people, you can check online that what are the red flags that people usually find when you are speaking to a marriage alliance, and see if what you say falls in one of the red flags. This will give you an insight why people may be ghosting. Your expectations might be fair, but the way it's conveyed might have issues. This is just one example of many examples I'm giving you. Let us look at another way how this comes into fruition with respect to communication. If suppose Mars was in the third house for this chart, Mars is debilitated here in the third house in Cancer. Third house rules written communication. When you're sending messages to that alliance, maybe there is a dissatisfaction that the alliance may perceive in the way you are talking to them on text. It could be miscommunications. You're intending to say something, but they're understanding something else. It could be that your pace of messaging might not be enough, or even if you're busy or anything, The way you are messaging may be conveying lack of interest and not a genuine sense of, I want to talk to you, but I'm unfortunately occupied. This enthusiasm is not conveyed. It could be various things, case by case. You'll have to look at what may be being conveyed, and you have to change the course of your communication when you're writing to that person in a way where you don't give out what may be usually a red flag, or even over enthusiasm in some cases also can push people away. So you'll have to test and then fix those issues. This is just one of the many type of permutations and combinations that may occur in the quality of communication. See, if the same thing occurs here, Mars is debilitated and in the third house, so this person might not show enough initiative with the other person when it comes to messaging, and that might be causing some type of a dissatisfaction to the alliance. But say if the same thing occurred for a Cancer ascendant where Venus is debilitated in the third house, here too issues with written communication might occur, but the nature of the issue might be slightly different. You may appear as too artificial the way you are messaging, or too unrealistic with your expectations, or people may feel that you are too uninvolved in a relationship. People may feel that you don't exhibit enough charm the way you message. These are not some things that are ingrained in you that you cannot change. It's just that you need extra effort to do it. Similarly, depending on the nature of the planet and the nature of the occurrence, there might be different things that go on for different people that causes these things. Please note that these are few of the many reasons and some common reasons why people get ghosted. There might be many other reasons why people get ghosted. Like a person is pressurized to get married when they're not interested by family or friends or peer pressure, and that time also these things can occur. In those cases, you have very little that you can do not to get ghosted. So, good judgment always helps.